Okay, we're done with that stitch there. Next step is number 18, and that is going to be a flip stitch on top of the tongue. So we get the liners, we're gonna put them face to face, face down like this, face down. They go face to face, and we're going to stitch from here all the way around to here. And depending on what kind of tag you want, right now would be a good time to put your tag on. If you wanted to go over it, you know, those tags that kind of go over everything, you can do that later, but right now would be a good time to put our tags on. So let me see if I have some. All right, well, you guys are in luck because I don't have any tags, so now we can skip that step. All right, but if you did have a tag, you could just put it here and leave this kind of sticking out here. We can cut that later if you want, or fold it here, whatever you want, but right now is the time to do your tags. All right, let's go get this flip stitch. All right guys, so for this part I am gonna use some paper clips just to be safe. I'm gonna line up the little notches there and some clips all around. All right guys, so we're done with this flip stitch. Step number 19 is now tongue foam. So I'm gonna go over here on the side and spray this and stick this on right inside that line. Now, I wanna show you guys a little trick here. Also, Tuesday tip from Leon, Guanajuato. This is my buddy Aaron taught me this. Check it out. So you start on this side, you glue it on here, but then you stretch it a little, just a little stretch there. And then when you let go, you glue it on, it's already gonna start taking shape. It's gonna start getting that round shape. So that's why it's a little bit smaller here. You could just center it if you want. It's not gonna make a difference. It's gonna be fine. But if you wanna start adding that little curve, more shape, put it on one side and then stretch it out and lay it over the whole thing. And then it'll come back and be curved. I'll show you what I mean. Let's go do this. All right, so I just sprayed this and this. Start on one side. And then press down on it. And you can start curving this as well. A little more centered. All right, so let's flip it and I'll show you what I mean. Careful with your bone folders, don't go poking holes in your stitches. Okay, so there it is. And as you can see, it's already starting to be a little round. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna spray some more glue here. And these little flaps should kind of come open like this. So let's go spray some glue in here. All right, so I went ahead and made sure I sprayed in there. Now I'm going to just kind of flatten it out, make sure we got no wrinkles. And for this part, I'm gonna push down on the sides so it starts getting that round shape, and then you go in the middle, okay? So there you go. See how it's starting to be round, and it's like a little L shape there. All right, so that's it. And this, all this excess is normal. We're gonna stitch. Whoa, where'd you go, buddy? We're gonna stitch here and then cut off the excess. All right. Oh, and we gotta cut our shoelace holes, shoelace holders. All right, so I'm gonna go do the same thing with this one. All right, guys, so we're gonna sand this bottom part off with the sanding paper. It's 220 grit, but I guess you could use 150, something like that. We're just gonna sand it off so that the contact cement sticks a little better. Again, all the tools I've used so far, well, except for the machines, this hole punch, they'll be in your toolkit or the toolkits I sell. The machines, obviously. So I'm just taking off the top coat. Or you can also use these detail sanders. These pencils are pretty cool. I used to include these in my toolkits, but they're hard to find, and not everybody liked them, but I switched up to the sanding sponges. Here's a cool little trick. Well, it doesn't really work with the sanding sponge, but if you just have regular sandpaper, put it around your crate, and you got yourself a little sanding block. That was a tip that I learned from JBF. Thanks, Jacob. Right, there we have it. Now we're also going to sand this bottom edge because it's also going to be glued on or cemented on. Guys, on to our last two steps. So we're gonna get our liner. This liner, make sure you got the right side, connecting it to the medial side. We're gonna get our two liners and we are going to join them just like this. See a little, can you see a little notch right there? That's how far we're gonna be. And for this, I'm just gonna do a straight stitch. And we wanna make sure we got the front part overlapping the toe part. Otherwise, when your customer puts their foot in, it might roll back or create a little bump. So, okay, here we go. Let's start off with Let's start off with this liner. I want to put some tape here, hold on. Alright guys, so because I was struggling so much with that, I just went back and put a little piece of tape. So it should look, oh, your liner should look something like this. And I'm just going to stitch down here. So if you had a flat sewing machine, I know a lot of people have asked me, can I make a shoe on a tabletop machine? The answer is yes, you can, but stitches like this you're gonna have a hard time with, but the answer is yes. And maybe I should turn my machine on. Sorry, just got back from lunch. And this one is just going to be a normal overlaid stitch, only because it's going to go on the inside here. Nobody's going to see it, and I don't want to add any more bulk to this area here. It's going to be right around where the the bones, where your toes bend, where the bones are going to be at their widest. So I don't want to add anything extra that I don't have to in that area. Alright guys, so like I said before, this is the next to last step. We're just going to join the liners. And for those of you that have a flatbed sewing machine, this is going to be a little bit hard. It's hard even on a post bed to get in there, but it is possible on a flatbed machine. Alright, so this is the final step of stitching. I put some tape on the front of the eye stay, and I'm going to add the second needle to finish up the stitch, and we'll be done.